The pediatrician's hands were shaking. She couldn't hold the magnifying glass steady. Her nurse stumbled backward, eyes wide with shock, and knocked over a metal tray. Instruments crashed across the white tile floor. The sound echoed like thunder in the small room. Across from them, James Whitmore, the man on Forbes covers, the billionaire who built an empire, sat frozen in a chair. His face had gone completely white. His mouth opened, but no words came out. His hands gripped his head like he was trying to hold himself together. On the examination table sat 12-year-old Lily. Her hoodie was finally off. For the first time in over a year, her head was exposed. Tears streamed silently down her pale cheeks. She didn't make a sound. She'd learned long ago that crying didn't bring help. The doctor whispered, "How did no one see this? How did this go on for so long? But let me tell you how we got here. This story will shatter you. Then it will show you what real wealth looks like. And it's not money. Before we continue, let us know in the comments section what time it is and where you're watching from. And remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss how this heartbreaking story transforms into something beautiful. Trust me, you need to see this through to the end. Now, let's go back to where it all began. Lily Whitmore was 12 years old. She lived in a $40 million mansion in Silicon Valley. The house had more rooms than she could count, a home movie theater with velvet seats, an indoor basketball court that echoed when she dribbled alone, a library with 10,000 books that nobody read, floor-to-ceiling windows that overlooked the Pacific Ocean, miles and miles of water, beautiful and endless and empty, just like her life. But Lily was the loneliest girl in California. Her daddy was James Whitmore. You've probably heard of him. He built a social media app that 2 billion people use every single day. 2 billion. His face was on magazine covers. Tech blogs called him a genius. Presidents asked for his advice. He gave speeches about connecting the world, about bringing people together. But he couldn't connect with his own daughter. Lily's mommy didn't die. That's what people always assume when they hear this story. No, Lily's mommy left. Just walked out the door one Tuesday morning when Lily was 9 years old. No explanation, no goodbye letter, no forwarding address, just gone. Like Lily didn't matter enough to stay for. That abandonment broke something inside Lily, something that never healed. And it broke something inside James, too. But instead of healing together, they both retreated into their own private pain. James buried himself in work, in board meetings and product launches and billion-dollar deals. Anything to not feel the hurt. Lily? Lily had nowhere to hide, except inside her own head. After Mommy left, Daddy changed. He stopped smiling, stopped laughing, stopped seeing. He left the house before sunrise. He came home long after Lily went to bed, if he came home at all. Sometimes entire weeks passed where Lily only heard his voice through closed doors, only saw his shadow moving through hallways late at night. The mansion felt like a museum, beautiful but cold. Perfect, but empty. Lily's footsteps echoed in every room. Even in summer, even with fireplaces burning in winter, the house felt frozen. To manage this massive, empty house, James hired Patricia Thornton. Patricia wasn't a nanny, she was a family manager. That's what her business card said. She ran the Whitmore household like a Fortune 500 company. Schedules, tutors, meal plans, everything operated with mechanical precision. Everything except love. Patricia was tall and thin with sharp features and sharper words. Her hair was always pulled back so tight it looked painful. She dressed in gray pantsuits and checked her tablet constantly. She saw Lily as another item on her task list. Feed child, check. Schedule tutors, check. Ensure child is alive, check. She never asked how Lily felt. She never asked what Lily needed. She never really looked at Lily at all. And Lily learned to be invisible. Because invisible children don't get hurt when people leave. Invisible children don't bother their busy fathers. Invisible children don't ask for things like love and attention and someone to care. But invisible children also scream silently. And Lily's silent scream was about to become visible in the most horrifying way. Because when you're 12 years old and drowning in loneliness, when anxiety wraps around your chest like barbed wire, when nobody sees you or hears you or cares, your body finds ways to release the pain. Lily's way was her hair. It started small, just a few strands during a panic attack. Then more and more, until something was growing beneath those hoodies. Something shocking. Something that would finally force everyone to see what they'd been missing. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let me show you exactly how Lily's silent scream began. Lily sat in her bedroom, a room bigger than most apartments, a king-sized bed with silk sheets, a window seat overlooking the ocean, a desk made of Italian marble, toys and books everywhere, untouched like museum displays. She was supposed to be doing homework. A math worksheet stared back at her, the numbers blurring together. Her chest felt tight. Her hands were shaking. The empty house pressed down on her like a weight. Where was Daddy? Working, always working. Where was Mommy? Gone, just gone. Lily's hand moved to her head. Without thinking, she found a single strand of hair. She pulled, just one strand. It came out with a tiny sting, sharp, then gone. And for just 1 second, the tightness in her chest loosened. For 1 second, the pain in her head replaced the pain in her heart. It felt like relief. She didn't understand what she'd just started. Days blurred into weeks. Lily's life ran on a schedule Patricia created. A schedule that never included James. Whasam. Patricia knocked twice on Lily's door. Up, breakfast in 15 minutes. 7:15 am. Lily ate alone at the massive dining table. Patricia stood nearby, checking her tablet, answering emails. She didn't sit, she didn't talk, she just monitored. Sit up straight, Patricia would say without looking up. Don't slouch, chew with your mouth closed. Chowan am. Online classes. Lily logged into Zoom in her bedroom. She kept her camera off. Teachers called on her sometimes. Lily Whitmore, are you there? She'd unmute, whisper an answer, mute again, invisible, even on screen. 12 p.m. Lunch, alone, always alone. 3:30 p.m. Tutors came. Math tutor, Monday and Wednesday, piano teacher Tuesday, Mandarin instructor Thursday. They taught, Lily learned. Nobody connected. 0 p.m. Dinner, alone. The dining room echoed with the sound of her fork against the plate. 9:00 p.m. Bedtime, Patricia announced from the doorway. She never came in, never tucked Lily in, never said goodnight with warmth. Just lights out in 10 minutes. This was Lily's life, day after day, week after week. A routine without love, a schedule without connection. And somewhere in those endless lonely hours, Lily's hand would drift to her head. 1 strand, then 2, then 5. The pulling became automatic, unconscious. A comfort in the discomfort. A pain she could control when everything else was out of control. 2 months after that first pull, Lily noticed it in the bathroom mirror. A small spot at the crown of her head, about the size of a quarter, where the hair was noticeably thinner. Her scalp showed through pale and pink. Her heart hammered. Panic flooded through her. Oh no, oh no, no, no. She tried to cover it, pulling the surrounding hair over it. It mostly worked, mostly. If you didn't look too close, if the light wasn't too bright. She didn't tell anyone. Who would she tell? Daddy, who was never home? Patricia, who barely looked at her? Besides, Lily felt ashamed. Deep, burning shame. What was wrong with her? Why was she doing this to herself? Normal kids didn't pull their hair out. Normal kids didn't have bald spots at 12 years old. She must be broken. Defective. Just like Mommy said by leaving without a word. That night, Lily found her favorite hoodie, soft gray cotton with a hood that came down low over her forehead. She pulled the hood up. The fabric covered the spot perfectly. Safe. Hidden. Invisible again. "Why are you wearing that hood inside?" Patricia asked the next morning at breakfast. She didn't look up from her tablet. "I'm cold," Lily whispered. "The thermostat is set to 72 degrees. You're not cold. Take it off." I like it." Patricia finally looked up. Her eyes were cold, assessing. "You're going through a phase, fine, but you look ridiculous." She returned to her tablet. Conversation over. Lily kept the hood on. One evening, rare, so rare, James came home before Lily's bedtime. She heard his voice downstairs talking to Patricia. Her heart leaped. Daddy was home. She ran downstairs, her hood bouncing. James stood in the foyer, still wearing his suit, his phone pressed to his ear. "No, tell them we're not accepting those terms." He saw Lily and held up one finger. "Just a minute, honey." Lily waited. 1 minute became 5. 5 became 10. "Daddy?" she tried. He held up his finger again, turning away. "That's not what we agreed to in the term sheet." Lily's shoulders slumped. She turned and walked back upstairs. Slowly, hoping he'd notice, hoping he'd call after her. He didn't. That night, alone in her room, Lily pulled harder than ever before. 20 strands. 30. She didn't count. She just pulled until her scalp stung and her eyes watered and the bald spot grew bigger. Lily stopped looking in mirrors. She couldn't bear to see what she'd become. The bald spot wasn't a spot anymore, it was a patch. Then patches, plural. The crown of her head, where she pulled most often, was almost completely bald now. The size of her palm. Raw, pink skin, irritated and angry. Some areas had small scabs where she'd pulled too hard, broken the skin. She wore hoodies every single day now. Even in June when California heat made her sweat. Even during Zoom classes when teachers asked why she was always bundled up. "I'm just cold," she'd type in the chat. They didn't push. Why would they? She was just another face in a grid of faces. Easy to ignore, easy to forget. The pulling had become compulsive, automatic. She did it without thinking, during math class while reading, eating lunch, brushing her teeth. Her hand would drift up, find a strand, pull, the brief sting, the tiny relief, again and again and again. At night it was worst, lying in bed in the darkness, the loneliness crushing her chest. Her fingers worked constantly, pull, pull, pull. Sometimes she'd fall asleep with strands of hair clutched in her fist. Her pillowcase had blonde hair all over it. She'd hide it in the laundry before Patricia saw. One Thursday, James came home for dinner. Actually home, actually sitting at the table. Lily's heart soared. "Hi, Daddy." She smiled. Really smiled, for the first time in weeks. "Hey, sweetheart." He glanced at her, then at his phone. 3 phones, actually. lined up beside his plate, all buzzing. "I got an A on my history project," Lily said. "Want to see it?" "That's great, honey, really great." His eyes never left his phone screen. His fingers typed rapidly. "Daddy, are you listening?" "Uh-huh. History project, A, very proud." Still typing. Lily's chest tightened. Her hand moved to her hood, touched the fabric where underneath her scalp was raw and damaged. "Daddy, I wanted to ask you something." His phone rang. He held up one finger. "Hold that thought. I have to take this. Whitmore here. Yes. No, that's not acceptable." He stood up, walking away mid-conversation. His dinner sat untouched. So did Lily's. Patricia appeared in the doorway. "Finish your meal, Lily, then homework." "Is Daddy coming back?" "He's busy. Eat." Lily stared at her plate. The tightness in her chest became a crushing weight. She couldn't breathe, couldn't think. She excused herself, ran to her bathroom, locked the door. She pulled. Harder than ever. Furiously. Desperately. 30 strands, 50. She didn't stop until her scalp bled. Small drops of blood on her fingertips. She stared at the blood, horrified. What was she doing? What was wrong with her? She cleaned up quickly, hid the hair and tissues, buried them deep in the trash. She pressed toilet paper against her scalp until the bleeding stopped. That night, she cried into her pillow. But silently. Always silently. Nobody came to check on her. "You're wearing that hood again," Patricia said at breakfast. It had been 3 weeks since the dinner. James hadn't been home since. "I like it," Lily whispered. "You look homeless, like a street urchin." Lily flinched. "Your father mentioned you yesterday during our check-in. He said you seemed distant during your last video call." Lily's heart jumped. "Daddy talked about me?" "He's concerned you're not applying yourself. Your math tutor says you're distracted." Patricia's voice was cold, clinical. "You have every advantage, Lily. Tutors, technology, this beautiful home. Yet you mope around in hoodies looking pathetic. It's ungrateful." Each word was a knife. Maybe, if you tried harder to be pleasant, your father would want to spend time with you. Children should be seen and not heard, and lately you're neither. You're just there, taking up space. Lily's vision blurred with tears. She didn't respond, couldn't respond. That afternoon, she pulled until 3 different spots bled. She didn't care anymore. The pain felt deserved. 2 weeks later, Lily woke up with a headache. Not a normal headache. A throbbing pain centered where her bald patches were. When she touched her scalp, it felt hot, tender, wrong. She snuck a look in the bathroom mirror, pulling back her hood carefully. The patches were red, inflamed. Some areas had yellow crusting. Pus, maybe? One spot looked swollen. Fear shot through her. Something was wrong. Really wrong. But who could she tell? Daddy, who hadn't been home in a month? Patricia, who thought she was pathetic? Nobody. She pulled her hood lower, swallowed 2 Tylenol from the medicine cabinet, and went to her Zoom classes. The infection grew quietly, hidden beneath gray cotton, while Lily suffered in silence. Rosa Martinez carried her 2 suitcases up the mansion's front steps. The house was intimidating. All glass and marble and money. So different from the small apartment she'd shared with Miguel before cancer took him 6 months ago. She needed this job. Needed the salary to support her 3 daughters, to keep their heads above water. She'd answered the ad expecting just another wealthy family who wanted their toilets cleaned and their meals cooked. Oh, she didn't expect to find a child drowning right in front of everyone's eyes. Patricia met her at the door. "You're the new housekeeper. Rosa, correct?" "Yes, ma'am." "Your duties include meal preparation, light housekeeping, laundry. You'll have Sundays off. Mr. Whitmore is very busy and not to be disturbed. The child is not your concern. I manage her schedule." Patricia's voice was efficient, cold. "Questions?" "The child has a name?" Rosa asked quietly. Patricia blinked, surprised. "Lily. She's 12. She's homeschooled online. Keep noise to a minimum during her class hours." She handed Rosa a folder thick with instructions. "Your room is upstairs, a third door on the left. Dinner should be ready by 6. Patricia walked away, heels clicking on marble. Rosa stood alone in the enormous foyer, a bad feeling settling in her stomach. Rosa saw Lily the next morning. A tiny figure in an oversized gray hoodie drifted into the kitchen like a ghost. So thin, so pale. The hood pulled low over her face. "Good morning, mija," Rosa said warmly. She was making breakfast, something she actually loved doing, unlike cleaning. "You must be Lily. I'm Rosa. I just started working here yesterday." The girl's blue eyes went wide, surprised, like she wasn't used to people talking to her. "Hello," she whispered. Her voice was so quiet, Rosa barely heard it. "I'm making breakfast. What do you like? Pancakes? Eggs? I make really good French toast." Lily stared like it was a trick question. Whatever is fine. That's not an answer, sweetheart. What do you like?" "Nobody ever asks me that," Lily whispered. Rosa's heart cracked. She smiled gently. "Well, I'm asking. And I'll ask every day until you tell me." The tiniest smile flickered across Lily's face. Just for a second. Then she looked down. "Pancakes, maybe, with chocolate chips?" "Chocolate chip pancakes coming right up. You sit right there and tell me about yourself." As Rosa cooked, she asked questions. Real questions. "What's your favorite color? What do you like to read? Do you have friends? Pets? Hobbies?" Lily answered in whispers at first. Then in full sentences. Then miracle. She almost laughed at one of Rosa's stories about her daughters. Rosa noticed everything. The way Lily kept adjusting her hood. The way she flinched when Rosa moved too quickly. The way her hand kept drifting toward her head, then stopping, like she was fighting an urge. Something was wrong. Rosa's mother instincts screamed it. Over the next 2 weeks, Rosa and Lily developed a routine. Rosa made special breakfasts, smiley faces in the eggs, heart-shaped toast. She sat with Lily, talked with her, actually listened. "Where's your papa?" Rosa asked one morning. "Working. He's always working." "And the Senora Patricia?" "She manages things." Lily's voice was flat. "She says I should be grateful. I have everything." Rosa looked around the cold, empty kitchen. "Do you feel like you have everything, mija?" Lily's eyes filled with tears. She shook her head. Rosa reached across and squeezed her hand. "Tell me what you need, whatever it is." "I need," Lily's voice broke. "I need someone to care." "I care," Rosa said firmly. "Starting right now, you have someone who cares." It was a Tuesday afternoon. Rosa was putting away laundry in Lily's room. The girl was in online class. She went to empty the bathroom trash and froze. The trash can was full of tissues. And hair, so much hair. Blonde strands everywhere, clumped in tissues, scattered loose at the bottom. Rosa's hands trembled as she looked closer. This wasn't normal shedding. This was handfuls, clumps. Dios mío. She went to Lily's closet to hang up clothes and found something else. A pile of discarded hoodies in the back corner, and on them, more hair. Blonde strands caught in the fabric, and something darker on one pillowcase shoved in the pile. blood. Rosa's heart hammered. She carefully pulled out the pillowcase. Small brown stains, dried blood, several of them. "Oh, baby," Rosa whispered, "what's happening to you?" That evening, Rosa knocked softly on Lily's door. "Mija, can we talk?" "Okay." The small voice came from inside. Rosa found Lily sitting in her walk-in closet, surrounded by hoodies. She was crying silently, hood up, knees pulled to her chest. Rosa's heart shattered. She sat down beside Lily on the closet floor. "Sweetheart, I found the hair in your trash. I found the bloody pillowcase." Lily's whole body went rigid. Terror filled her eyes. I can explain. I'm sorry." "Shh, no. You have nothing to apologize for." Rosa's voice was gentle but firm. "Lily, I need you to trust me. Can you show me what's under your hood?" "No." Lily shook her head frantically. "No, you'll think I'm disgusting. You'll leave like everyone leaves." "I promise you, Mija, I will not leave. And I will never think you're disgusting. But I'm worried about you. Very worried. Please let me see." Lily sobbed. Years of pain poured out. "I can't stop," she cried. "I try, but I can't stop pulling. It started small, and now it's so bad, and I don't know what to do. Nobody sees me. Nobody cares. And I'm so alone, Rosa. I'm so alone." Rosa pulled Lily into her arms, letting her cry. "You're not alone anymore. I see you. I promise I see you." When Lily's crying slowed, Rosa pulled back gently. "Will you let me look? I promise I'm here to help." Lily's hand shook as she slowly, terribly slowly, pulled back her hood. Rosa's breath caught in her throat. Her hand flew to her mouth. The top of Lily's head, the entire crown, was almost completely bald. Raw, angry red skin stretched across patches the size of Rosa's hand. Some areas had thick scabs, dark and crusty. Others were freshly irritated, pink and inflamed. And worst of all, several spots showed signs of infection. Yellow, crusting, swelling. One area looked like it was weeping pus. "Oh, Mija," Rosa whispered, tears streaming down her face. "Oh, sweet baby, how long?" "Over a year," Lily sobbed. "Maybe longer. I don't remember when it started anymore." A year. This child had been mutilating herself for over a year and nobody noticed. Nobody cared enough to look. Rosa felt rage, pure, burning rage, rise in her chest. But she kept her voice soft for Lily. "Listen to me very carefully. This is not your fault. Do you hear me? You're sick, baby. You need help. Real help. And your papa needs to see this right now." "No," Lily panicked. "He'll be angry. He'll send me away. He will do nothing of the sort, and if he tries, he'll have to go through me first." Rosa stood up, her jaw set. "You wait here. I'm getting your father." "Rosa, please. Trust me, Mija. This ends today." Rosa marched to James's home office. She didn't knock. She threw open the door. James looked up, startled, from his 3 computer monitors. "What? Excuse me, you can't just—" "When was the last time you looked at your daughter?" Rosa demanded. Her voice shook with fury. "Really looked at her? I don't appreciate your tone. You're the housekeeper. When was the last time you saw Lily without that hood on?" James frowned, confused. "Her hood? What are you talking about? What does that have to— Answer the question!" I don't know. Months? What is this about?" "It's about the fact that your daughter has been suffering for over a year and you didn't notice. You were too busy, too important, too buried in your work to see that she was dying right in front of you." James stood up, his face reddening. "Now wait just a minute. No. You wait. You come with me right now and you look at what your absence has done. You look at your daughter." Something in Rosa's eyes, the fierce, protective fury, made James stop. Real fear crossed his face. Is Lily hurt? Come, see for yourself. They walked to Lily's room in tense silence. James's heart pounded. What was happening? What was wrong? Lily sat on her bed, hood still down, tears still falling. When she saw her father, she looked terrified. Daddy, I'm sorry. Lily, what's going on? James approached slowly. Then he saw. Really saw. For the first time in over a year, he looked at his daughter. The bald patches, the raw, infected skin, the evidence of self-harm so severe it made his stomach turn. His little girl, his baby, had been doing this to herself. For a year. All the color drained from his face. His legs went weak. He grabbed the bedpost to steady himself. Oh my God, Lily. I'm sorry, Daddy, Lily sobbed. I'm so sorry. I know I'm disgusting. I know I'm broken. I tried to stop, but I couldn't. No. James fell to his knees beside the bed. Tears poured down his face, the first tears he'd shed since his wife left. No, baby, you're not broken. I'm broken. This is my fault, all my fault. You're always gone, Lily whispered. You're never here. I thought you didn't want me anymore. I thought maybe you wished I was the one who left instead of Mom. Those words destroyed him, completely destroyed him. He pulled Lily into his arms, holding her like he should have been holding her for the past 3 years. I love you. God, Lily, I love you so much. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I made you feel invisible. They cried together. Years of pain, loneliness, and abandonment poured out. Rosa stood in the doorway, tears streaming down her own face, letting them have this moment. Finally, James pulled back. We're taking you to a doctor right now. Actually, Rosa said quietly, I called ahead while you two talked. There's a pediatrician who specializes in this, trichotillomania, it's called. She had a cancellation and can see Lily in an hour. James looked at Rosa with profound gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for seeing what I was too blind to see. Before they left, James called Patricia into the foyer. His voice was ice. Pack your things. You're fired. Patricia's eyes widened. Excuse me? I've managed this household perfectly. You managed a house. You were supposed to care for my daughter. She's been suffering for over a year. You saw her every single day. How did you not notice? The child was always difficult, always moping around. Get out. James's voice was deadly quiet. Get out of my house before I say things I'll regret. You have 1 hour. Patricia left in fury, but James didn't care. Only Lily mattered now. At the pediatrician's office, Dr. Sarah Chen lifted Lily's hair with gloved hands. She'd seen many cases of trichotillomania in her career. But this was severe. Her hands trembled as she held the magnifying glass. Her nurse gasped and stumbled backward, knocking over the instrument tray. It clattered across the floor, the sound echoing like gunfire. James sat in the chair, face white as paper, hands gripping his head. How did no one see this? Dr. Chen whispered. How did this go on for so long? Because I wasn't looking, James said hoarsely. I stopped being her father. Dr. Chen's expression softened. She turned to Lily. Sweetheart, you have something called trichotillomania. It's a condition where people pull their hair when they're anxious or stressed. It's not your fault, but we need to treat these infections immediately, and you need therapy, real help. Will I be okay? Lily whispered. Yes, with treatment, love, and time. Yes, you will be okay. James Whitmore did something he'd never done in his career. He called an emergency board meeting and announced he was stepping back for 3 months. Not stepping down, stepping back. "My daughter needs me," he told the shocked board members. "The company will survive. She might not. That's not a choice." He hired Rosa permanently, not as a housekeeper but as family. He tripled her salary. Her daughters could visit any time. This was her home now, too. The mansion slowly transformed. No more cold silence. Rosa cooked meals that filled the house with warmth and the smell of home. Her laughter echoed in the hallways. She played music while she worked. Life returned to the museum. Lily saw Dr. Chen twice a week. A therapist specializing in trichotillomania, Dr. Michelle Torres, helped Lily understand her condition. It wasn't weakness. It wasn't her fault. It was her brain's way of coping with unbearable stress. "You were drowning," Dr. Torres explained gently, "and pulling your hair was the only way you knew how to come up for air." A dermatologist prescribed antibiotics for the infections and special treatments for her damaged scalp. The infections began to clear. The angry redness faded to pink, then to healthy skin. But healing the body was the easy part. Healing the heart took longer. James started small, breakfast together every morning. No phones, no laptops, just father and daughter. At first, they sat in awkward silence. Years of distance couldn't disappear overnight. "What do you want to talk about?" James asked the first morning. "I don't know," Lily whispered. "Me neither." He smiled sadly. "We have to relearn each other, don't we?" So they did. Slowly. One conversation at a time. James learned Lily loved marine biology. "Really? Since when?" "Since forever, Daddy. I told you 3 years ago. You were on a call." That hurt, but he listened now, really listened. They walked on the beach every evening. James asked questions. "What makes you happy? What scares you? What do you dream about?" Lily answered hesitantly at first, then more openly. She told him about the loneliness, the fear, the belief that she was unlovable. "Your mother leaving had nothing to do with you," James said one evening as waves crashed nearby. "She was unhappy with herself, with me, with her life, but never with you. You were the only good thing in our marriage." "Then why did she go?" "I don't know, baby. Some people run from pain instead of facing it, like I did. I ran into work instead of being there for you. I'm so sorry." Lily leaned against him. "I forgive you, Daddy." He kissed the top of her head, healing now, soft new hair growing in patches. "I don't deserve that, but I'll spend the rest of my life earning it." 3 weeks without pulling, then 4, then 6. Lily had setbacks, nights when anxiety overwhelmed her and her hand drifted toward her head. But James was there now. He'd check on her, sit with her, talk her through the urge. "What do you need right now?" he'd ask. "Just you here." "Then I'm here, always." Rosa taught Lily to cook. They made tamales together, laughing when the filling spilled out. They baked cookies, played board games, watched telenovelas. Rosa's daughters visited on weekends. Suddenly, Lily had sisters, friends, family. The house filled with noise and life and love. Lily started wearing regular clothes again. Not because her hair had fully grown back, it hadn't. It was patchy, uneven, growing in different lengths. But she wasn't hiding anymore. "I look weird," she said one morning, studying her reflection. "You look like someone who survived," Rosa said. "That's beautiful." The beach sunset painted the sky orange and pink. James and Lily walked along the shore, barefoot in the sand. Lily's hair had grown back significantly, still shorter than before, still a bit uneven, but healthy. No more bald spots, no more infections. More importantly, no more pulling. 63 days and counting. "Daddy?" Lily said. "Yeah, sweetheart?" "Thank you for coming back." James stopped walking. He knelt in the sand so they were eye level. "Thank you for giving me the chance. Thank you for fighting through the worst and letting me be your dad again. I love you. I love you too, so much." He hugged her tight. "I'm never looking away again, I promise." They walked back toward the mansion, no longer a museum but a home. Warm lights glowed in the windows. Rosa's music drifted from the kitchen. Lily's artwork covered the refrigerator. Life lived here now. 1 year after Rosa arrived, Lily stood in front of her class. She'd started attending a small private school. She was given a presentation on mental health awareness. "I have trichotillomania," she told her classmates confidently. "It means I used to pull my hair when I was anxious. It got really bad, but I got help, and now I'm okay." Some kids stared, some looked uncomfortable, but several nodded with understanding. After class, a girl approached shyly. "I pull my eyelashes," she whispered. "Nobody knows." Lily smiled. "Let me give you my therapist's number. You don't have to suffer alone." That night at dinner, James, Rosa, Lily, and Rosa's 3 daughters all crowded around the table. Lily told them about the girl. "You helped someone. Today," James said proudly. "Rosa helped me first," Lily said, smiling at Rosa. "She taught me that speaking up saves lives." Rosa's eyes filled with happy tears. "You saved yourself, Mija. You were brave enough to let people in." They held hands around the table. A family not born, but chosen. Built from broken pieces, healed by love. Sometimes the wealthiest people are the poorest in what matters most. Sometimes losing everything teaches you what's truly valuable. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is ask for help. And sometimes a stranger's courage changes everything.